Happy Tuesday, everyone. Time for another live commentary. For today, we're looking at another round of 16 bout from the World Championships. This time, it's going to be on the right, Alessio Foconi, who, spoiler alert, ended up winning the entire World Championships. I really hope that's not a surprise to anyone watching. And on the left, we're going to have Max van Haaster of Canada. I think the last time I talked about him, he was losing pretty crushingly to Garrick Meinhardt at Rio. That was definitely not his best performance, and right now, he's going to redeem himself. The fact that he's made it this far into the World Championships should be an indication that he's got quite a show in store for us, even against the guy who won. So without any further ado, let's get into this bout. 3, 2, 1, go! Alright, so I believe Van Haaster is currently round 23 in the world. Foconi might still be rank 1. I don't think that's changed. So maybe a bit of a ranking imbalance, but I've got to say Van Haaster's been impressive recently. He's been climbing right up there. As I said, he's made it this far in the World Championships. That's certainly no joke. So we'll see what he can do against Alessio Foconi here. I would still call Foconi the favorite, despite my newfound love for Van Haaster's fencing. Here we go. Beats, comes right out, long advanced lunge, and finds the target. Foconi a little late with the parry, and it's enough for one light. Again, marches right off the line. Parry post from the right is the call. Interesting. I did hear another one, but it may have been late. I'm gonna go with the referee's initial instinct on this one, though. The timing of this felt more like a parry post than counter post. But we shall see. Yep, parry post from the right. Nice try. Again, I like the tactic from Van Haaster. Just maybe a little sloppy execution. He was going quite fast. Finishes long, but Foconi steps in with the counterattack. Long finishes tend to be vulnerable to that sort of thing, and Foconi's got a quick enough hand to keep himself alive while doing so. March from Van Haaster is broken up. Foconi starts marching, takes the blade. Van Haaster searching on defense, steps in for an attempted counterattack, gets away though, and finally steps in. Parry post for Foconi seems to be no, and possibly the remise for Van Haaster off target. Van Haaster lunges, Foconi takes the blade. Foconi's parry post game is very strong. More marching from Van Haaster though. Foconi steps into the counterattack. This time Van Haaster finishes on his outside. Foconi's inside. I should mention that Van Haaster is right-handed as well as Foconi. Long advanced lunge again from Van Haaster, pretty much right off the line, is enough for another one light. Foconi's got to step up to deal with that. He could attack himself or possibly look for a faster parry post. Gets the blade. Core before anything can happen. Mysterious off target for Foconi. Van Haaster is getting the march off the line quite often. This is probably going to be Foconi's, right? Yeah. Very fast bout so far. That's going to go to the right, yeah. More acceleration much sooner than Van Haaster. So Van Haaster had the strong advanced lunge in the middle though. This time he was a little bit more hesitating, so Foconi was able to take it over. That is definitely a solution to that. Maybe play for simuls. But now Foconi's marching. Van Haaster takes the blade. March is really withheld. That was another thing I noticed about his fencing. He likes a more withheld march than most. Oh, that would have been beautiful point in line. But again, can't quite find the target on the outside, and Foconi can step in with the counterattack once more. Carving out a decent lead for himself. So for Foconi, it's been mostly these counterattacks. His parry to post has been a little late for Van Haaster's super fast acceleration. But Van Haaster's super withheld march, combined with his tendency to finish long, is going to be probably vulnerable to this counterattack, unless he can change something. A little bit more back and forth here. Foconi starts marching again. So the call is attack no. I'm not sure if he meant that Foconi missed that one, or if his original attack stops. Either way, the hand signal would be identical, so I can't really tell the difference. I might say attack stops on that one. Maybe just because I like Van Haaster, but I don't know. At any rate, Van Haaster pulls out one light with a nice shoulder touch. Another long lunge from Van Haaster finishes off target though. This time Foconi is a little bit better with the distance. Able to not just lose outright to it. Another long lunge onto Van Haaster's blade, finds another off target, this time Foconi's though. Not much information. Ooh, wow! Van Haaster gives Foconi basically a taste of his own medicine. Foconi able to find the blade nice and easy. Waits a little bit for the riposte, which normally is a great idea, but Van Haaster's able to remise and close out very quickly. That was a nice touch. This time Van Haaster can finish to the outside, and Foconi's counterattack is utterly ineffective. Wow. It's like both of these guys are shooting down tactics the other person brings out right off the bat. Van Haaster just misses the attack. Goes to Foconi. That is a little bit rough. That line has only worked once for him, to be fair. Maybe the last one was a fluke. Attack no from the right. I agree. Van Haaster did stop there. That was the counterattack. Perhaps it's only fair, because the previous touch went to Foconi, but still. This is an interesting bout so far. It's very fast scoring. And tactically it's moving at a lightning pace. Wow. Parry riposte with a flick. Honestly, the flick is probably just a byproduct of Van Haaster trying to make the riposte really quickly. He didn't really need to at that distance and at that angle. But that parry post... Ooh, Van Haaster short, barely, and Foconi's off target. Every touch is on a knife edge here. This is really great to see. Parry post from Foconi, though. Again, that fast hand speed picks it up. Foconi giving a point of the finger to possibly Van Haaster or possibly someone off to the side. I couldn't really tell. How are you going to call this one? Attack from the left. Now this is... Okay, Foconi's going to ask for a video review, but I do agree with this call. And this is something we've seen... Like, this is actually pretty recent development. Oftentimes, even a couple of years ago, people would lean away from like flesh off the line with that, even if the arm's a little bit like not quite extended. But we'll see what the call is going to be here. I would probably lean in the same direction as the referee on this one. If anything, it might be simul, but it felt like there was a little hesitation on Foconi's part, and he also finished pretty early. So we shall see. Referee's having a quite hard look at this one. Yeah, as I said, until like very, very recently, this call was usually hardly ever in favor of the person doing the flesh. Let's see what the call is. Call is reversed. It does go to Foconi. So I guess his Van Haaster's arm was a little bit too far back. Foconi jumped the gun a little bit there. Gotta wait for the referee. Again, long advanced lunge off the line from Van Haaster. This time Foconi's able to escape from it. He knows about it now. Foconi's finish is short, and it's off target. Critically, though, he was able to actually beat Van Haaster to the target despite Van Haaster's attempt to parry riposte. Van Haaster gets a cheeky stop hit as Foconi tries to march in 4, it looks like. Yeah, this is this bout is evolving tactically super, super fast. I can barely keep up myself. Actions are becoming stale almost as quickly as they're being used. Wow, how does he land that? Jeez. Just finishes with a long lunge. Foconi, I guess, was trying to step in, but nope. Van Haaster finds a way to worm his way around the blade and just, I guess, finishes with a nice flick to the chest. Probably left off target. I don't think Foconi found the blade there. Yeah, definitely not. And we're at 8-8. In just 2 minutes of fencing. Not even. Again, that long finish from Van Haaster. Foconi can't escape from it. At least he can now. He's shown that he's able to. More marching from Foconi. Van Haaster might go for that stop hit again. He looks like he kind of wants something. Just turns it around, though. Marches. Tries to flick the flank. Doesn't manage it. Foconi starts. I could see a case for both sides there. So I will just let the referee call it and not presume to judge. This is the type of thing that sets the better referees from the referees who just use YouTube. But we'll see. Either way, I think the referee is going to make an enemy in one of the coaches. Attack stops from the right. Attack from the left arrives. Here we go. 9-8. Van Haaster leads. Again, steps in. That was kind of a remise tempo. He finished his attack and then immediately just stepped in again when Foconi started. He used that once before when Foconi parried. This time I don't think there was blade, but the tactic is the same. Oof. No from Van Haaster. Van Haaster asks for another video review. This time, I also agree with the referee's original call. The way that I block this out usually is if the counterattack or attack and prep or whatever you want to call it happens during the search, it's usually going to be in time. This call probably will not be attack and preparation, it'll probably be attack no, but we shall see. Yep, the call is the same. It's possible that Van Haaster also whiffed one, but I didn't see it that way. Ooh! In the time it takes for me to finish that thought, Foconi just steps in, a little cross step forward. Makes it look quite easy. And now we're tied up at 10. Nail-biter of a bout right here. 2 lunges. Call his attack left no because Foconi stepped back, most likely. But 1 light for Foconi again. At this point I think it's just accuracy. Van Haaster's bigger blade actions might be letting him down a bit here. He does favor a very withheld arm and a pretty oblique finish a lot of the time. Foconi tends to be a little bit more linear, and that may be enough to seal it. Though this time, Van Haaster finishes, and again Foconi's parry is a little bit late. Even though his distance was a little better that time than it was the first few touches of this bout. Van Haaster again steps forward, gives it up. Foconi finishes off target though. Let's see. The call here is parry riposte. Yes, Van Haaster acknowledges that one. So it looks like that fast advanced lunge off the line is finally getting unusable for Van Haaster. It's worked a few times, even though Foconi looked like he was catching on, but this time Foconi finds the blade super early, and that basically seals it. Van Haaster goes again for that very long kind of flick to the inside, and this time Foconi is able to twist around it with the counterattack. And already the score is 13-11. This bout has gone by quite quickly. Van Haaster maybe taking a tactical pause here by wiping some sweat from his brow. I'm sure he could certainly use as much time as he needs to think about what to do here. Again, tries another attack off the line, but Foconi can escape from it. Look at that big blade work from Van Haaster. It's gonna... Oh, yeah. Foconi can find a parry post eventually. I do feel like I'm not... I wouldn't say it's a mistake to have such big blade work like that, but it is a potential weakness. Like, that looks very counterattackable, especially if he rushes even a tiny bit. Foconi starts forward. This time misses, and Van Haaster gets a counterattack. Again, with the pretty much just a flick to the shoulder. So 12-14, not the best place for Van Haaster. Although there are only 14 seconds, so if both fencers want to pull back, they can, but I can't see that happening. Nope. Van Haaster attacks, again misses, and Foconi can step in with the counterattack. Now, while I do think that bigger blade work from Van Haaster isn't the best, it took Alessio Foconi, of all people, the world champion of 2018, to exploit it enough to win the bout, so... As I said, I'm very impressed by Van Haaster recently, and I hope he continues on his upward trajectory, but this was the day of Alessio Foconi. So, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. I'm still working on the Rio bouts as well, but I can't devote as much time to those as I'd like. But, in the meantime, as always, stay sharp.